Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees squander a big opportunity, split a 4-game series at home against the Baltimore Orioles. Really a series that, even though it's 2 games apiece, was really disappointment because the Yankees took the first 2 games. But then, and it was looking promising the third game, but the bullpen falls apart there. And then the Yankees and Severino, they got to figure out what's going on with Severino. Absolutely get hammered to a score of 14-1 in the final game there. And to the point where kind of Falefa, Mr. Utility Man, it's the 4th time this season they've had to use him. And he's a position player to give them an inning just because, this getting beat so badly. So a lot of problems there in Yankee land. So we'll get into that. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. So if you're not subscribed yet, do that. Get notified new content comes up throughout the rest of the season. And you want to stay around, stay tuned. By next week, a big episode. Again, can't tell you, a little bit of a mystery, but we'll tell you a big guest coming up. So again, you want to stay around the planet of Section 420 Talkin Yankees, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, TV, whatever. Stay around the planet. Got a big one coming up for you. So nevertheless, the Yankees are going to have to kind of settle for 2-2 against the Orioles. Again, golden opportunities, a team that the Yankees have been chasing in the standings there. And really, if they could have taken 3 out of 4 there, then you may be looking at, only 2 behind in the AL East there. Still 8, looking up 8 about Tampa, and as the season keeps going along, and just the lack of really consistent hitting, the dreams of an AL East title probably slipping away. So you're at least hoping for those wild card spots, and you're competing with the Orioles to do so. And again, right now, the Orioles came in here, and you look at the games they played at Yankee Stadium and the games they played earlier down in Baltimore. Baltimore's proven to be the better team right now, so the Yankees got to figure it out, and they got to figure out what's going on with Severino now. This is last 2 starts, he's got absolutely hammered. Not just getting beat up a little bit, but just destroyed. 7+ runs given up there, and just looks completely lost. I don't know with they say, well, he hasn't found his slider, he hasn't found the changeup. It's his 3rd pitch, he's just not executing. Whatever the case may be with him, he's completely lost right now. And I don't know how he had that one game against Texas where he shut them down for 6 innings through scoreless baseball. Outside that one start, he's been getting destroyed pretty much on a consistent basis lately. So, hopefully they can just use the All-Star break to kind of turn him around, get him straightened out, because right now he's just completely lost. Now, Yankees get a little bit of good news that Carlos Rendon finally is going to make his debut. So that'll be getting the opening game at home against the Cubs. Ironically enough, it's Luis Severino bobblehead doll there, so you want to make sure you go get the bobblehead. But more importantly, I think the Yankees is hoping to get Rendon finally out there and, throwing him out there consistently every 5th game. Just kind of get him some work finally, and then hopefully that this kind of alleviates some other problems in the rotation, which really hasn't been bad. It's just been lately, we got to say it's Severino. He's kind of been the one that's just completely lost lately. So we'll see how that goes. Now, first game was excitable. It was the fireworks night at Yankee Stadium, which I gave you my opinion on that. I don't think you need fireworks to draw fans in the Yankee Stadium. It was a big crowd anyway. Kind of a rainy, bit of a windy day there. Storm cloud, a couple of rains coming down there. Now, the Yankees fell behind in this one, but it was the long ball that got them back in the game. Both Volpe and Higgy going back-to-back, and then later in the game, a big 3-run home run from Harrison Bader, and the Yankees take an exciting Game 1, take the win there. And it's just funny, got to give credit to somebody who was wishing who the person was. The person was like, this is why the Yankees don't play small ball. They're behind 3-0. They hit 2 home runs to get them back into the game, 3-2, just an inch close. And then Harrison Bader with a couple runners on hits a 3-run home run, to push the Yankees across there. And just, again, that's the problem with the Yankees. They hit the home runs, everything's fine. They don't hit the home runs, then it's pulling teeth to score for them. So they take the first game, they figure, all right, good, Baltimore coming in, you chase him, take the first game. The second game is a matinee there. It's the official 4th of July game, so it's going to be a 1 o'clock game. And the Yankees got on board early in this game as well. Gleyber Torres, 2-run home run. Now, he would later score in the game. Stanton hit a single up the middle there. Now, Luis Rojas, the third base coach, actually put up the stop sign again with Gleyber Torres. We've seen him just being a little wacky on the bases and both defensively this season, make some bonehead plays. Now, he actually blew through the stop sign, which he shouldn't have done. Now, he did score because the outfielder bobbled the ball a little bit and didn't really hustle to it. So, yeah, you could say it's a good hustle play. But again, Gleyber Torres technically was wrong there because the coach put up the stop sign, but he blew through it. But I guess when you score there, the third run of the game, I guess third run for the Yankees there. I guess, you look past it, but technically Gleyber screwed up there. Now, this game, the Yankees ended up tacking up some runs later on, and shockingly, Clark Schmidt was able. They gave him, this is now 2 games in a row. They gave him Clark Schmidt run support, so it's kind of a bizarre thing. It's something you usually don't see often. So Schmidt now for 2 games in a row finally get 2 wins. Again, he's pitched really well over the past month or so. It's just haven't been getting much run support previously. Now finally getting some run support. Now getting some wins, good for him. And then Trevino tacked on a home run late in the game. And now you take the first 2, and everything's looking good. It's like, wow, this is a team with chasing. If we could maybe even sweep them, that'd be a big statement. It's a big push for this team. Just the way they've been struggling lately without Judge. But unfortunately, that was the end of the good times at 4th of July holiday week at Yankee Stadium. Now, they had to bring up Randy Vasquez to make his 3rd start of the season. He gave the Yankees everything they needed from him. You got 5, scoreless innings. But unfortunately, this is the game the Yankee bullpen fell apart. Nick Ramirez, the usually reliable Michael King, even Ian Hamilton, who since he's been coming back up, it hasn't been too spectacular lately. And Bolton was able to just knock the Yankees bullpen around late in the game and then take the 3rd game there, which you figure, all right, fine, it's okay. You would even say take 3 out of 4, you would consider that a successful series. But this is the game I mentioned at the top. Is Luis Severino was absolutely destroyed early on, gives it like 7 runs, and then they bring in Albert Abreu, who that's usually the game's over with him in there. Either you're losing by a lot or you're ahead by a lot. Out when you bring in Albert Abreu, and he's just no better there. And the Yankees just got absolutely pummeled, 14-1. Baltimore with 20 hits compared to the Yankees measly 6, and it's just a bad situation for the Yankees. You normally settle for a split, and maybe if you're on the road, you settle for a split. But this, you had the Orioles primed up. Even in that 3rd game, the Yankees were ahead early. Josh Donaldson, of all people, again, just what he does. He doesn't hit, but when he hits, it's home run. So he put the Yankees on the board early with a home run. Higgy with an RBI after that, so it's 2-0. Vasquez is pitching well. You figure, all right, maybe we could take this one. But of course, reliable people like Michael King and Ian Hamilton who was good early in the season, just couldn't hold anything down for the Yankees, and they just completely fell apart. And that was really the killer there because you got a good start by Vasquez, but the Yankees squandered it. And it's really been gotten 3 good starts from Vasquez. The first one against San Diego, his only mistake was the home run to Juan Soto, but the Yankees gave him no run support. Pitched well against the Chicago White Sox. The Yankees gave him an entire 3 runs to work with, but that was enough to get him a win there. And now this game, where again he pitched well, but unfortunately the offense wasn't there early for him. And again, the Yankees weren't able to put themselves in a situation where they could then bring in their big guys like Peralta, Holmes to close the game out there. So unfortunately, the Yankees have to settle for a split. And again, these things are looking really bad right now. I mean, just look at your 2 main cogs. Really, it's hurting the Yankees. Again, Stanton and his DJ, and they're just looking terrible right now. Stanton's barely a 200 hitter. This should not be the case. And then DJ just looks all out of whack. And, I've said this the past few Cup episodes. Look, he's just not the machine anymore. We've been kind of waiting for him. He had the hernia, then he had the cracked toe and the foot thing. And, once he heals up from that, and then he'll be DJ LeMahieu again. He'll be the machine. It's just, those days are done. So whether he needs to tweak his swing like what Aaron Hicks did, and Aaron Hicks coming here as a visiting player actually hit a home run there. So I guess, I was off about him, but we'll get into that. This is a whole other conversation. So I don't know if they need to tweak his swing like what Baltimore did with Aaron Hicks or something like that, but they have to get him right. Otherwise, he's just basically a mediocre player. All right, still good defensively, and he did make a pretty good play in the final game there against Baltimore, but just he's got to hit. And then Stanton, he has to drive the ball. He has to hit home runs. Yeah, a little RBI single up the middle to get Gleyber in is not going to do much for this team right now with Judge out. So it could be a case they just, again, DJ and Stanton just might have aged quicker than the Yankees anticipated, and now the Yankees have to make some big decisions, coming up in the offseason what to do with these two, because they're basically bringing the team down. Again, after this season, I think Gleyber's gone. I think the Yankees had enough of him, and he probably knows it too. That's just why you see them kind of just going through the motions. Yes, he at the end of the day puts up his stats and home runs, so you can't say he's garbage, but he's not a winning, gritty player. It's like, all right, guys, get on my back, and I'm going to take you across the finish line. Again, the Yankees got some excitable players. Harrison Bader's excitable. I think Rizzo's more of him. I see him as a slump, not really an age thing with him. And again, overall, he's kind of have a decent season, even though he's just kind of been in the slumps and he had that neck injury. Volpe's actually he's been bringing up the average there, so just like that's excitable there. But the rest of these guys, they seem like they're sluggish. They're kind of like Luke Voigt 2.0s there, where like yes, they got some power to go deep, but not the most athletic in the world. And it seems like they're just kind of like down on their luck and beaten down, and it's just a bad situation right now. So you just got to hope that the reigning MVP Judge could come back, and that's just see how important he is to this team. And again, he masked a lot of these problems up last season. See, he had an incredible season, so DJ not being as good and Stanton not being as good and Donaldson being bad, he kind of blanketed that up a little bit. But without Judge now in the lineup, now those guys are in the magnifying glass and they're just not performing. It was kind of the same situation last season, but again, with Judge having an incredible season, they were winning games, and you didn't really realize that would be a problem. But now you see the problem with him. He's continuing to work his way back. He's ruled out surgery in season on the toe, so I guess that's good. Just in terms of he's not going to be out for like a ton of time. But we don't know how effective he's been. He's doing some of the throws and little hitting off a tee and drills. And again, having this little all-star break is going to be important. I don't think he's made a decision yet whether he's going to fly out there or not. He's probably more likely to stay back and work on the toe and work on rehab, which I think he should do. So that's, with that. And of course, the other big news, I was going to do a whole episode about it, but it's like, why? Obviously, with Cordero, the relief pitcher, unfortunately suspended for the rest of the season and postseason, if any, for this team. Who knows? Obviously, it looks like a domestic incident with him, and it's kind of bizarre. It's like domestic abuse, sexual assault, and endangerment of a child. So I don't know what that really entails. I mean, obviously, we remember the Herman situation from a couple of years ago. That seemed more like a domestic dispute situation where, I don't know, maybe threw a slap or a punch at her or something, which, it's not good, but I don't think there's anything with like sexual assault and children involved. So we don't know what this is all about. And again, I didn't want to do a whole episode to speculate, but unfortunately, Cordero done for the rest of the season for the Yankees. And, it was kind of reliable on there. I don't say it's a crushing blow to the Yankees. Not that it should make a difference more or less, but, it's worth mentioning now. It's just one less arm the Yankees are going to have. So they're going to have to find a way to through that. Now, short term, they've called up Davey Garcia. He's kind of someone who's kind of been flip-flopping back and forth. Good season, bad season. Should he be a starter? Should be a reliever. But probably you may see the Yankees make a move around the trade deadline just to bring an arm in here. And let's just see what they do offensively, whether they want to bring him more of a stable left field. Because right now, it's kind of been on a rotation. And speaking of left field, Jake Bauers likely headed to the IL, and he made a diving catch there, diving play. And looks like he bruised his rotator cuff, so he's going to go on the 10-day IL most likely. And then, but of course, with the All-Star break, have a few days off. That's not the biggest blow in the world. But again, the Yankees might be looking for a more steady Eddie because, you see these Jake Bauers and Billy McKinney. Again, they're nice, cool stories. You get a home run here and there. Hey, look at that. But they're not everyday players, So the Yankees might need someone more stable there in left field. So that's for the Yankees. Disappointing series against the Baltimore Orioles. Judge working his way back from his toe. Jimmy Cordero done. Just domestic dispute, whatever problem, violation there where MLB came down. And supposedly the Yankees really had no idea this was happening. I guess MLB did this separately from the Yankee organization, and I guess they informed Cordero, who then, I guess, walked into Boone's office, and then Judge had to talk with him, and whatever, that was that whole situation. So Cubs coming to town. The Yankees are staying afloat. They're 8 games over 500, so you can't say they're a bust or just free-falling. They're kind of hanging around there, but, this would have been really good to take 3 out of 4 or sweep the Baltimore Orioles. So Cubs coming to town. They're flagrant. They're about 6 games under 500. Nothing special with them. You got Carlos Rendon on the mound finally back tonight, so let's see if that revs the team up a little bit. But, the Yankees, really to make up for this, should sweep the Cubs. These are winnable games against teams that aren't, Cubs aren't that good. And when they get back from the All-Star break, you got the Colorado Rockies, also a team that's way under 500. Again, Yankees got to collect some easy wins here and got to get DJ and got to get Stanton hitting there. Maybe that's not going to happen. Keep hoping for it. Maybe they just aged quickly than we do. But again, they got to put up some runs there. So that's the episode. And catch you next time. And again, got a big interview, big guest coming up very shortly, so hang around for Section 420 Talkin Yankees Planet, and you'll see who it is. Catch you next time.